Hello, I'm RJ from Essential Machine, and I'm here for a song. So we were at Goodwill and found this Casio tone keyboard from the 80s that was like, say, $6 or $7 or something, you know. And we were like, wow, this is amazing. It was in like pristine condition, and I thought, awesome. And we even were able to plug it in there, and it worked. And it's a cool keyboard because it has the output so you can plug it into an amp or something, but it also has a built-in speaker, so it's really great for just jamming on or whatever. And it has a built-in drum machine, and Robert and I were jamming a lot at the time because we were in the midst of writing our record and demoing tons of songs for Jake, the producer, to listen to. And me and him started jamming on this song, and it was really inspiring to me. It was very simple. Obviously, it's 3 chords, but it really had this cool beat with the drum machine built in for the keyboard and then his part. And so I started really working on it. And then one night I felt really inspired. I'd written these lyrics, and I came down with him, and we set up the Spire studio and just ran through the song completely from beginning to end. And I sang the lyrics I had just written, and then we added some layers and stuff, and we sent it away to Jake, and he really loved it, of course, and was like, oh, let's do this. So when we got into the studio, I thought we were just going to do what we did with most of the songs, which is just, start them over or whatever. But Jake had already dragged the session into his, because you can send, with the Spire Studio, you can send out individual tracks. So you can like send the stems out. So, and it's high enough quality that you can bring it right into the studio if you want to start a project, or even dubbing. I did a lot of dubbing on it and sent it to him to add to the songs or whatever.
Okay.
So he dragged it in, and he was like, I really like this performance. I'm not sure you're going to recreate it quite the same way, and I really would like to just use this, and let's just build off of it. So Karen layered the drums over the top of it, and then Jake actually played some drums on that one too, and then we just put stuff on top of it all in the studio. It was the only song we did like that. All the other songs we went in and at least played the chord tracks and then worked on it. But with that one, it all started from the original demo that Robert and I had.
And you said did you keep the original vocal?
The original vocal that I tracked in one take is the vocal that is on there. Now, I think that he probably spliced together some of those choruses, because there were definitely some ones where it was just like...
But that melody just came out. The melody just came out.
Yeah. So and the phrasing that I really love, was all just spontaneous, which I think is why it is the way it is. Because if I had refined it, it probably would not sound the way it does. So I'm glad that I didn't. I'm glad that he recognized that it was something special.
Good producers do. They're like, don't touch it.
Yeah.
No, walk away.
Right. He did that with another scratch vocal of mine, where I was like, are you serious, dude? But it was cool, because when we went to his studio, I never had this experience before. So we all set up and we start playing, and we had the headphones on, and I start singing, and the sound was so good. I felt like I was singing into a record, you know what I mean? Like it sounded like I was singing like I'm playing in a record, so it was really inspiring, and I was getting like wigged out. So after we did the first run through of a song, he had a windscreen, like a the fluffy thing, on the microphone. So I knew it was like a handheld mic, but I thought this must be like a really nice condenser mic, because they make some handheld condensers that are beautiful, So I peel it back, and it's an SM58. I'm like, how is he doing this? So, but there were some where I was so inspired by the sounds that we were getting just by doing the basic tracking, that there was at least one other song where he was like, we're keeping that scratch vocal. I was like, are you sure, dude?
It's great. And it saved time on the back end.
Yeah, right? I didn't have to sing it. I'm like, I don't have to sing this like 20 times. Great.
Yeah. I just did that I'm trying to record songs just in the room with all the instruments and the vocals, so that I don't have to go back and nitpick, because I start to overthink it and be like, I don't like the phrasing or whatever. And but when you cut it and it's the vocals on there, like,
hey,
it's like, is it take 1 or take 5? Like one of those takes is going to be it, because you can't go and take it out of the acoustic guitar track, you know. And
well, maybe you can nowadays with the technology, but
reverse.
You probably don't. Somebody can do it.
Somebody could, not me. Yeah, they're out of my price range,
right?
For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was with Jake Hanna, right?
Yeah.
Denora is his group.
Yeah, he's awesome. We had a really great time working with him.
Is there a story around the Brokenhearted, or that was just like, where did that?
There really isn't. It's just kind of a, I feel like, I work a day job where I have to leave for like 2.5 days, and I'm just not at my home at all, and I sleep there. And so I kind of have this feeling sometimes where, when I leave, Karen and I are basically just not together for like 2.5 days, and it's a difficult thing. You'd think I've been doing this now for 12 years, you would think that it would get easier, but it really doesn't. It's almost like, every single week it's like, okay, bye, and it's like you have to redo this terrible thing. It takes like a whole day, like all day Monday, I have to do this whole letting go of having my other person there, and then Tuesday is kind of like, all right, you're used to this, you got it, you can do this, and then by Wednesday it's like, yeah, it's all over, but then it just happens every single week. So for me, I kind of feel like I was tapping into some of those feelings when I was working on this, because then I'll have the opposite effect where I'll have time off. My job has a lot of time off, and the benefits are pretty good, so I can take lots and lots of time off. So I'll take a week or 2 off, and then going back then is even worse. Then it's like, okay, this was really bad now. I got a taste of what it could be like if I didn't have to disappear for 2.5 days a week. Yeah,
I love the idea, like the reach for the brokenhearted. There's like, and this is probably my point of view on it, but like I see this, like this song is, there's like this community, like we're all in this together sort of thing. Like I'll support somebody who's hurting, and then like I like your song The Outsiders, and it's like we are this thing, like, you know, this community thing, and even like Take Some For Yourself has this idea of like kind of like, I don't know, like around community, and like kind of like it feels like a hug, you know, and like that's probably my point of view.
Well, that's cool.
Singling those things out, but I was just wondering.
I like how you said that, because the truth is, to me, and it's neat because you don't know any of this, you don't really know me very well, so it's great. I came from Florida, and I was born and raised there. I spent half my life there, and there's no community. There just doesn't exist. There's fake communities, there's gated communities, you know, but there's really no community. It's not very old, so there's not, at least not like there is up north, like here. And I hadn't, so, and you know, everything is relative. So if you don't have anything to compare it to, you don't know what I mean. So the word community to me was linked to a center that I sometimes went to dances at as a young man.
Right,
you know what I mean? It had nothing. I didn't have any idea what community really meant or felt like. And it was exactly the opposite, as you know, at least now that you've been here for a little while. Every town is a community. Greensburg is a community. And people are serious about it.
They're serious about it.
This isn't Pittsburgh. This is Greensburg. You could live an
This
hour
isn't
and a half.
Latrobe.
Right.
This isn't South Greensburg. This is Greensburg.
Right. And you can live an hour and a half away in Florida, and you know, if someone says you're in Tampa, you know, you're like, yeah, I'm in Tampa. You're like, I'm not really in Holiday. You know what I mean? So people really more identify very differently. They're, you know, they don't care at all about their little place that they live. Whereas here, everyone at least identifies with it, and the sense of community is great. And then in the music community, obviously, it's very similar. Coming here from where I felt like, you know, I was in band since I was like 13. I felt like I could never find a community. As a matter of fact, it was a lot of the opposite. It was a lot of cutthroat, like, we're better than you, so you suck, you know? And we're not going to let your drummer use our floor tom for this show, even though he forgot it. And then even after you play and they decide you're not terrible, and they're like, whoa, sorry, dude, we could have let you use it. But it was that kind of rude, you know, not give you the benefit of the doubt. Just, and here it's exactly the opposite. Everyone's friendly. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, sure, you want to come do this? Yeah, you want to play a show here? You want to do that? And so I felt like coming here, this community is really awesome. And that feeling of, oh, there are people with genuine, you know, even if they have differences, they have something in common, which is community, which is place.
You can be welcomed.
Yeah, you can't have a place and have that be enough in common to create, you know, something that people will work towards a common goal or a common good. And I really love that about being here in the North and being in Pittsburgh, specifically in the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah, I love it here, and I feel that too.